a video on just something I'm a little bit curious about. So, I clarified some stock using some chicken meat, and I came to the conclusion that it wasn't actually chicken meat that clarified the stock, it was the juices that came out of the chicken meat that clarified the stock, and it kind of coagulated, and all the bits of sediment in the stock were attracted to this coagulation of the juices that came out of this chicken meat. I think that's what happened. As always, the questions that I ask the answers don't seem to be anywhere on the internet, or not the places I'm looking anyway. So today I have been this is the juices that have come out of a joint of beef. So I was wondering if we can take those juices and clarify these beef stock cubes, which I've let down in a little bit of water. I put in some fat as well to kind of cloud it up a bit, because I want to see if it actually clarifies this bit of stock. So answering the question, was it the juices that came out of the meat, or was it the meat itself that clarified the stock? I kind of think it's the juices that came out, because that would kind of fit in with using egg whites in the stock to clarify stock. So, doing it one-handed, but we will take this off the gas first, and then we'll kind of see what happens. So it's not boiling, we'll pour that in. So they have coagulated and cooked like that. So as you can see, those juices that were raw have now cooked in that hot stock. So we'll just stir that around like that. It's kind of gone a bit like when you put egg in a Chinese style soup. So we'll just bring it back up to the boil, and then we'll kind of see what happens. Now, the stock, it wasn't really visible when the stock was in the pan that it had clarified. It was only when I passed it through a cloth, that you could see how much it had really clarified. But I think this is gonna work. But we'll see. So there's no new ideas. Well, I don't think there's very many new ideas. I think someone has, what you think will be a new idea, someone's done before. You know, it might not be a popular idea, and there might only be 2 people on the planet who have done it, but I don't think many ideas are very kind of quite new. So this idea has probably already been done somewhere else. I'm not actually inventing something new. It would be nice to invent something new, but I don't think I'm doing anything new or particularly different here. So there's about a litre worth of water and 5 cheap beef stock cubes from the supermarket. So I just want to make sure that everything's cooked. I don't want to rapidly boil it, because I don't want to break everything up too much. But we'll just kind of see how it goes. I think it's one of those things as a chef that you can't help shaking pans. Right, I think that's full of cooked everything in there. So let's turn that off, and then we will come back, strain it through a cloth, just let it settle for 10 minutes or so, strain it through a cloth, and we'll see what happens. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. So, cloth in a sieve over a container, and let's just pour it through the cloth, which will stop the coagulated bits of meat juices going through, and a clear liquid should be left at the bottom of the container. Oh, that's a bit. Let's not do any more, because we'll end up losing it. I might just fit that in. So we'll let it drain through. Just want it to overfill. That's not so bad. not having the best day. That's because I've got a lot to do. So we'll let that drain through and then we'll have a look at it when it's a little bit more easier to move. So that is some of the strained stock. It's certainly no clearer than it was when I made it up from the stock cubes. So that hasn't worked. Back to the drawing board and something else to think about as always, which is as interesting as finding out something's right, it's also just as interesting to find out if something's wrong. So there we go. Not a success, but interesting all the same.